Hello, everyone. Today is the final day of our discussion on visibility for business owners and entrepreneurs in Nigeria and, of course, anywhere you are all over the world. We've been discussing basic principles and topics that will enhance your productivity in your business. And, of course, it's going to help you to get your business more structured over time. Of course, like I mentioned when I started this January episode, because I mentioned that we are going to discuss various topics, from January to December, this year. And the first topic we have been discussing is visibility. Of course, I talked about, why it is necessary for business owners and entrepreneurs to put themselves out there, to make yourself visible, to make yourself seen, to make yourself heard, to make yourself visible so that people will see you and, of course, patronize you. And it was yesterday or some days ago, I talked about being deliberate and intentional because that's the whole essence of being visible. You are deliberate, you are intentional about your business because nobody else will help you grow that business except you. Another thing you should realize is that visibility, as simple as it sounds, is a lot of hard work. Big businesses, how they spend millions and millions. Of course, I mentioned Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and all these other brands, Mercedes-Benz, Honda, major brands all over the world. But whichever company or the type of business that they are doing, you will see that they spend a lot of money. Look at MTN, for example. MTN, Glo, Airtel. We see their adverts almost every day. And you watch TV, you see companies advertising their products, talking about, their services. And, television adverts, radio adverts, they are not cheap. Anywhere in the world, they are not cheap, And you will see some having billboards all over the places. It's all about trying to get people's attention. So that's one thing about visibility you should know. Getting the attention of your clients. Because if your clients don't see what you are offering, or they don't, they are not aware of what you are selling, whether a product or a service, it can't move forward. It cannot move forward. You need to be so consistent in that area of visibility. Another thing entrepreneurs and business owners should know is that your visibility should be consistent. You have to be very consistent. You can't just say, okay, I'm posting today and tomorrow, for the next 1 or 2 weeks, you will not post again, or you don't put yourself out there. It could be something like what I'm doing now, talking about your product. It could be just a flyer or something just to show that this is kind of business I'm doing. And of course, you realize that in any type of business you are doing, there will be competitors. Of course, there are always competitors, except it's a novel type of business that, is just starting and, it's something you started as an entrepreneur. And like the Holy Book says, there's nothing new under the sun anyway. So it might be something somebody has done years ago, and you are the one now reinventing it. In any case, whatever product or service you are doing, you need to be very consistent with it. You need to be very consistent with it, because your competitors are not sleeping. Even if you're a pioneer person that established that business, after some time, you are going to have competitors. Yes, you will surely have competitors. So what do you do to always keep yourself ahead of the game? What are you going to do to make sure that you are the go-to person in that line of business? I always mention cars because that is something that is very visible to everyone. People prefer a certain type of car than the other for various reasons because we all have distinct and unique tastes. Everybody has something that he likes or she likes, and human needs are so, you know, they're so different. There's so many. What I like definitely be different from what you like. And even if we are siblings or brothers, or even because I'm a twin, what I like is different from what my twin brother likes. So people have diverse needs, people have diverse wants, people have diverse, things that they want or need at a particular point in time. So as a business owner, you have to be thinking, how do I satisfy my clients? How do I put myself out there that people would know that, so this is what this person does. And something about being visible is that you have to be unique. You have to create your own, create your own craft, create your own identity. That's the word. That's the word, identity. You have to create your own identity. You have to create your own style in being visible, because there are a lot of, the drinks, for example, we have Coca-Cola, we have Pepsi, we have 7-Up, we have Lacasera, we have Vigil Milk, Maltina, Malta Guinness. There's so many in Nigeria and all over the world. There's so many other brands, of drinks all over the world. So people would go for the one that they are, when you keep watching something over and over again, it stays in your mind, right? When you keep watching that thing over and over again, you have this is attached to your mind so that you always want to patronize that thing or buy that service or buy that product. So being visible is non-negotiable. It's just something you have to do, right? It's something you have to do because as a business owner, there is no slacking. There's no slacking. You just have to keep pushing it out there. No matter what it is, you just tell yourself that, oh, this year I need to be visible. People must know me. People must understand what I am doing, the kind of product I'm selling, or the kind of service I'm rendering. And while we are being visible, of course, you have to be visible such that people will be able to understand you very well. Be as simplistic as possible. Don't complicate things, right? Don't complicate things. Don't complicate, the way or the structure of your business. Like I mentioned, I think earlier in this week's video, this month's video, that, for example, Coca-Cola, they are selling a product, right? Drink, liquid drink. But when you look at their adverts, what are the things that are putting out there? They are putting out something that has to do with comfort, togetherness, family bond, which all of us are, conversant with. Something that will stir the human mind, something that would evoke emotions, right? Those are the things these big time companies are selling. Because if you don't, make it look like that, your product or service may not move. That is why Coca-Cola is a massive company turning in billions and billions of dollars every year. Look at Elon Musk too, for example. Some few years ago he bought Twitter, which is now X. And how was he able to do that? He was everywhere. Everybody knew him. He's currently the richest man in the world right now. And one of the ways is that rich is because he's very visible. All his products are all over the place, and people see it. People watch his adverts or his messages on X and everywhere. Is so much visible. So, and look at Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook too. Of course, his visibility is well known, and he even posts on his platform, which is Facebook too, if he has any announcements and all that. So the point is that as a business owner, You cannot I'm sorry, you cannot afford to be docile. You cannot afford to just, you know, relax. Your visibility has to be consistent and top notch. You know, what you are selling, what you are producing has to resonate with people, has to resonate with their feelings or with their wants or needs, has to relate with something that is deep in them. Because as a human being, you know, if somebody is selling a product to you and you don't like it, it doesn't resonate with you, you will not even bother buying it, you will not bother patronizing that person. But if that product or service resonates with you, if that product or service, you know, is something that connects with you somehow, you won't hesitate to buy it. You know, I gave an example some days ago in my office, here in my office. The lady there that sells yogurt, I think it's Greek yogurt, you know, and she just convinced me that, I'm going to, Mr. Kenny, you have to buy it and all that. That was some months ago, like 4 5 months ago, when I knew she was selling that kind of product, you know. So one day I reluctantly bought it. And guess what? I liked it. And I still bought it like 2 or 3 times. So if she wasn't visible to come and meet me or to announce her product to me, I would not know and I would not buy it. So that's the same thing for this business. And like I've been mentioning, the business world is evolving all over the world. You know, business world is evolving. Things are changing very fast. People are creating new products. You know, companies are reinventing themselves. Business owners are reinventing themselves. You know, so as a business owner, you cannot afford to be, you know, not, you know, you cannot afford not to be visible. You cannot afford not to be known. You cannot afford not to be heard, or you cannot afford not to be, you know, talked about, you know, in terms of, you know, people knowing what you are doing. So a lot of things as a business owner, you have to be creative. You have to keep doing what you need to do such that your business will keep growing. So that is the end of this month's edition of Cracking the Code 2026, building and sustaining a profitable business in Nigeria and, of course, all over the world. Now, February edition will soon be here. In a couple of weeks, we'll discuss another topic. So, but from time to time, I'll be chipping in some videos, you know, on businesses, what to do, what not to do as a business owner, and of course, some other areas of law I'll also be talking about. So, go to all my social media outlets, Kenny Shonde, you know, and watch all my past videos and the current ones. Thank you very much and take care.